Insights on Barack Obama's A Promised Land, brought to you by Instaread. Number 1. Barack Obama, 44th President of the United States, did not come from a political family. He had liberal maternal grandparents who left the Midwest before he was born and moved to Hawaii, away from political and racial turmoil in the 1960s. Obama's mother was different from her parents and had strong opinions. She had rebelled against convention ever since her school days, joined civil rights marches, and advocated against the Vietnam War and for women's rights. Yet she never actively participated in politics. Obama didn't really know his father, who worked in Kenya. They only met once when he was 10, and the rest of their communication was via letters. Number 2. Obama was not the active or engaged type of student. He did not join student groups, political clubs, or the like. He and his friends didn't discuss much beyond sports, girls, and music. His hobbies were playing basketball and partying. As he grew older, he started asking questions about race and about social class after witnessing the chasm between the lives of wealthy elites and impoverished masses. When he got to college, he devised a strategy for picking up girls where he would read books that he knew a certain girl was into. It didn't help him romantically, but it made him well-read and educated. Number 3. The 2 years he spent at Occidental College represented the start of his political awakening. But regular politics didn't mean much to him. It was social movements that captured his attention, something broader and less conventional, where ordinary people joined together to make change. Obama always had a love for America, no matter what books he read about its wrongdoings, and no matter how many of his friends argued with him about America being the source of most oppression. He did not deny that there were many wrongs in the history of America, but he still lived by the idea of America. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. That was his America. Number 4. In 1983, he graduated with big ideas but nowhere to go. He settled in Chicago, where he worked with churches to stabilize the minority communities there. Obama loved the people in his community who he worked with because through them, he resolved his questions about his racial identity. He found out that there was no single way to be black. Just trying to be a good man was enough. Eventually, he left Chicago to go to Harvard Law School. He saw the work he was doing as too slow, too limited, not able to match the needs of the people he hoped to serve. He had bigger ambitions. Number 5. Seeing Harold Washington become the first black mayor of Chicago sparked something in Obama, made him believe that he too could one day amount to something, that he could affect change. Obama had a lot of opportunities when he was a student at Harvard Law School. He was the head of the Law Review, and people thought he would go on to be a Supreme Court justice. The summer after his first year of law school, he started working at Sidley & Austin, the Chicago-based firm where he first met his future wife, Michelle. He was smitten with her at first sight, but it took her a while before succumbing to his charm. Number 6. After he left the firm, Michelle and he started thinking of a future together. Michelle wanted marriage, yet he learned from his mother's multiple failed marriages not to act too hastily. They had many heated arguments, but he loved that about her. She always challenged him and made him think. When Obama told Michelle he was considering running for local office after graduation, she was not surprised, as she knew he always had it in him. Yet she was scared for him, as politics was a dangerous career, full of people who'd do anything for power. After several years of dating, Michelle and Barack got married at Trinity United Church of Christ on October 3, 1992. That same year, the sitting congressman from the 2nd District of Illinois, Mel Reynolds, was convicted and sent to prison for having sex with a minor. The state senator from Obama's area, Alice Palmer, was eligible to run for Reynolds' seat, which left hers open for Obama to seek. Thus, Obama ran his first political campaign and won the Illinois State Senate seat in 1996, succeeding Palmer. Once he became senator, he began working on legislation that pushed for better healthcare, childcare, and welfare. In 1998, the Obamas welcomed their first daughter, Malia. Number 7. Obama next set his aim on a seat in the U.S. House of Representatives, which he campaigned for in 2000. However, he had a devastating loss in the primary against incumbent Bobby Rush, and was discouraged by it, as well as by a strain in his marriage. He worked things out with Michelle and decided not to let the loss deter his political vision. In 2001, their second child, Sasha, was born. After vigorously opposing President George W. Bush's Iraq War in 2003, he gained momentum for his bid towards a U.S. Senate seat. In 2004, he won the seat by a 70% margin. After winning the Senate seat, his momentum did not stop there. His political star kept rising in the country, and his once distant dream of running for president started sounding more and more probable. Number 8. One thing that Obama knew for sure was that if he were to become president of the United States, the world would start looking at America differently, and black and brown kids around the country would start looking at themselves differently. Their possibilities expanded. That alone would be worth it. On a bright February morning in 2007, Obama announced his presidential candidacy in Springfield, on the same stage before the old state capitol, where Abraham Lincoln delivered one of his famous speeches. It was extremely cold, and he'd been worried people wouldn't show up, but more than 15,000 did. Number 9. As soon as he announced his candidacy, Obama felt the intense scrutiny he was about to be under. Microphones were everywhere. Every word he said recorded and dissected. He was under a microscope and had to adjust his speech and mannerisms accordingly. When Hillary Clinton announced her candidacy, things were looking tough for the Obama camp. She was a well-known figure in the Democratic Party and a tough competitor. Obama's campaign suffered a few gaffes throughout 2007, and it seemed like they would be the underdogs. However, a huge upset happened at the beginning of 2008 when Obama won the first contest in the Democratic primaries in Iowa by an 8-point margin. Clinton was not even second, but third to John Edwards. The Iowa victory made news across the country, with the media using words like seismic and stunning to describe its impact, noting that the results meant devastation for Clinton's campaign. Obama was declared the new frontrunner, and pundits suggested his win signaled a big yearning for change in America. In the next contest in New Hampshire, Clinton beat Obama by a 2.5-point margin, after she'd called out Obama's over-optimism and calls for change as false hopes for voters. Obama didn't adopt a defeatist attitude and delivered a speech to his supporters which birthed his slogan, "Yes, we can." In South Carolina, polls showed that support for Obama had fallen to a mere 10%. Pundits said that anti-black sentiments were still rampant in the state and would cost Obama his nomination. Yet on the day of the primary, Obama ended up beating Clinton by a 2-1 margin. The South Carolina victory revitalized the campaign, and soon after, the Kennedy family announced their endorsement. Obama later won Idaho, and 13 of the 22 Super Tuesday contests went for him. After Super Tuesday, Obama went on to win 11 straight primaries and caucuses over the course of 2 weeks. Number 10. Michelle had to face a good deal of criticism from national media opposing Obama, and not just from conservatives. When she was addressing an audience and making endearing and humanizing remarks about Obama as a regular family man, she was accused of emasculating him and making him appear less presidential. These accusations hurt Michelle because it tapped into the racism she had to experience as a black woman and the stereotypes associated with black women being dominant, loud, opinionated, and masculine. Yet she powered through. Number 11. One of the controversies that Obama's campaign had to face was when video clips resurfaced showing Reverend Jeremiah Wright, the pastor of Obama's church, Trinity United, making anti-American comments that blamed the U.S. for bringing terrorism upon itself. Obama promptly cut ties with the church and Wright, yet it personally hurt him because Wright had played an important role in making him who he is. It also was said to have had a negative impact on the campaign. Number 12. Despite the tribulations, on May 6th, Obama ended up winning the last primaries needed in order to secure the Democratic presidential nomination. That night, he took a moment to reflect on how blessed he was to have a family and team that stuck with him and supported him despite all the reasons they had not to. He knew that he had asked the country to put their faith in an untested newcomer, like him, but promised himself he would not let them down. Once the nomination was won, the next goal was unifying the Democratic Party under Obama, so that no Clinton supporters would boycott him in the presidential election because of the brutal campaign. After they met, Clinton agreed to endorse and support Obama ardently. When it came to choosing a vice president, Obama narrowed it down to his friend Tim Kaine, the governor of Virginia, and Senator Joe Biden. While Kaine and he were similar and would work together effortlessly, Biden was older, more experienced, and different in most aspects, something Obama felt would help diversify his ticket and unify the country. For this reason, Biden was chosen. Number 13. Obama's Republican opponent for the presidency was John McCain, a senator Obama always respected because he dared to criticize the far-right wing of his party and served his country well. McCain was also respectful of Obama. Obama knew the race wouldn't be easy because McCain was considered an American hero, having fought in Vietnam and been a prisoner of war for over 5 years. Yet, he knew McCain had weaknesses because he'd be following Republican President George W. Bush, who had a very low approval rating. The lead-up to the election had its ups and downs, and Obama's camp had its doubts at the last minute. Yet, American voters came out overwhelmingly in support of Obama, as he gathered the majority of the popular vote and 365 electoral votes, more than enough to make him president-elect. Number 14. Obama's entourage was in disbelief. Most of them had grown up in times when there were still many neighborhoods that blacks could not safely enter, when office work was out of reach for most blacks, when the thought of a black U.S. president would have seemed fairy tale-like. Obama has trouble remembering that night because of how many times he has seen pictures and footage of it in retrospect. But he would never forget the feeling of walking on stage to salute his supporters after winning and seeing children look up to him with hope in their faces. We hope you enjoyed the insights from Barack Obama's A Promised Land. Smash the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. Visit Instaread.co to get more insights from this and thousands of other books. Use the code YouTube to get a discount on your subscription.